What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Boss Rush Podcast, a great place to play games and be better. I am not Corey Derrick. This is the PC Muscle Race himself, LeRon Dawkins. Look at that. Look at that.
Oh, again.
What is that you got going on there, PK Power?
That is my 6th fucking chinchilla Pokemon that I got that I don't fucking want.
Yeah, right before we recorded this, Pat and I were talking about Pokemon Pocket, and there's a Blastoise event, and you get a single card booster pack if you beat someone or a computer in battle. And we're all both trying to get the Blastoise, and no matter how many times we win, we keep getting a stupid chinchilla or Snivy.
This is the Pokemon TCGP?
Yep.
Okay. Because I downloaded it, I kind of started playing it, and then I keep forgetting to do dailies.
It's cool. The dailies literally take like 3 to 5 minutes, depending on what all you want to throw into your daily. It's literally just ripping up a pack, checking out your Wonder Picks, and moving on your day until the next 12 hours.
Mm-hmm.
It's addicting.
Yeah.
So the theme booster pack right now is Mythical Island?
Yep.
Okay. Right now, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yep. And of course, Mad Pharmacist herself, Stephanie Klimov, is in the house.
Hey.
Welcome back.
Yes. Feels good. Nice to see your faces. We went on a little bit of a holiday break, so it's been a while.
Yep.
Yeah, it has. If anyone's wondering, Corey is off on special assignment tonight. He's on a secret assignment, actually, so we can't talk about it. We can't talk about it, or we might be voted off the island. So split that way.
It has nothing to do with the Switch 2.
Thank God it doesn't. Thank God it doesn't. Because if it has something to do with the Switch 2, he better be bringing each of us back a Switch 2. That's all I'm going to say.
All I'm saying is that you guys should watch the Bossies to find out there's going to be a Switch 2 announcement on it.
Why would you do that, Pat? Why?
Why? So that they pay attention.
You're an evil man. You are.
There may or may not be a Switch 2 announcement on the Bossies.
There you go. That's a little bit more diplomatically worded.
All right. Well, I would just go ahead and say this. I missed you guys, even though we talked all throughout the holiday, because we're in a nice big group chat and stuff like that. Like we kind of stressed out about some things to each other. We kind of like wished everybody, like happy holidays and all the fun festivities and stuff like that. Did I miss anything?
I think so.
We got the whole
rigmarole.
Yeah, I traveled. So Corey actually, I actually invited Corey to call me like while I was driving in a 6-hour drive, which he did, which was actually it did so much to like help me take my mind off the road. Not meaning that I was ignoring everything that was happening on the road, but just I'm one of those people when I travel by myself, I have no one to, it's the most boring thing because there's no one to talk to and stuff like that. So the fact that Corey actually picked up the phone and called me, was amazing. It made me feel good. And it actually helped me. It actually helped me. Like I want to say we talked for like 25 minutes, but like it literally helped me like not notice a good brick of like my travel.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that weird and scary at the same time?
Yeah. So shout out to that guy. He's so swell.
He is. You're amazing, Corey.
Yeah. So just so everyone knows, this is episode 257 of the Boss Rush Podcast. If you want to support the Boss Rush Podcast, please go to our Patreon at patreon.com/Boss Rush Network and start subscribing. Subscribing to tiers on our Patreon can grant you perks like the new exclusive content, early access to Boss Rush After Dark, which guess what? That show is not dead. It's not dead. I know some people are wondering. But yeah, After Dark, there's more going on, of course. As always, though, your viewership and listenership are enough for us. So please, if you like, please subscribe to the Boss Rush Network on YouTube and give this video a like in the process. If you listen on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, or even if you don't, just go over there, leave us a nice rating, a decent review on either one of those platforms. They don't have to know you don't listen. You can find all of our banners, features, listicles, reviews, and much, much more over on our website, which is bossrush.net. So yeah, real fast, Stephanie, Pat, you guys got anything going on? You want to let people know to be on the lookout for?
Steph?
Well, I got nothing. I'm sorry to say, it's just
Stephanie, you're not busy for a change. What?
Oh, I'm busy, but with spotlights, that's just kind of I'm kind of working on a new lineup. So unfortunately, I have nothing to report as of yet. Just a lot of other things have kind of taken priority. I've been working on some articles for the writing team and getting the articles for the bossies up. So that's where my attention has been.
Okay. All right, Pat.
As for me, we got book club going on always. For our Patreon listeners, there is a amazing book club out there right now with a space for the unbound. It is one that I highly, highly recommend people check out. We had the wonderful Lala from Toge Productions with us in that discussion. And we talked a lot about depression as well as Indonesia during that time frame. Because Lala is from Indonesia and the game is based off of Indonesia. And apparently, well, I'm not going to spoil that part. You should listen to it. But check that one out. Otherwise, the free one right now is Life is Strange with Shane from the Boss Rush writing team.
Awesome.
Excellent
And I was a guest on episode 507 the Secret Friends Unite podcast show, which is available right now. Head over to our YouTube channel and check us out. I got to hang out with Todd Oxtra and Charles, and we had fun. We were just being a bunch of nerds, and you know what? I liked it. We talked about everything from TV to movies to comic books. Like we had a blast. Yeah, we had a blast.
Oh, nice.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot to you guys for actually inviting me onto the show. All right, so well, we've got a nice topic tonight. It actually sounds like the name of a podcast because technically it is the name of a podcast, but we're co-opting that for our talking topic tonight. It's called Tales from the Backlog. So you guys, whether you're a first time caller or a long time listener, you guys know we talk about our backlog a lot on the Boss Rush podcast. We talk about the fact that it's just this ginormous monster that keeps every time we crush one head, like 5 more pop up and stuff like that. So yeah, we talk about our backlog every year when the new year rolls around. But it always seems like,
let me tell you the size of my backlog. It is huge. I mean, people look at my backlog and they're just like their jaws just drop by how massive it is. They cannot believe that a backlog could be possibly that big.
I have a pretty girthy backlog too, Patrick. So don't just toot your own damn horn here.
How about you, Steph?
All right, guys, whip it out. Let's measure it.
Yeah, but those backlog things, they do stare at us, and sometimes they laugh or shake their heads in shame at the fact that we don't do anything about it. So I have an idea. This year, let's make a. I hope this is a really easy pact, but let's make a pact with ourselves. Let's declare 4 games from our backlog, no matter how new they are. They could have came out last week, or how vintage and old they are. And let's try and get them beaten. Officially crossed off our log by the end of 2025. That's safe, right?
I think 4 is pretty reasonable.
That's a game every 3 months.
And quick question: now, does a backlog game count if you started the game but never finished?
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
most definitely, because a good 80% of my games I've started and just never came back to.
Gotcha.
Same.
Yeah. If you guys if you guys want to humor me, if there's a why for why this game is on your backlog or why you want to beat it, that helps out too.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good.
Well, you know what? According to the doc here, Pat goes first.
What? I never go first. Well, I'm gonna take it. So I've one of my goals definitely was to play a lot more RPGs this year and get through some of my backlog with RPGs. But I kind of for this topic I just kind of threw a mix here. But the first one is one of the RPGs I do want to finish here very soon, and that is the Legend of Heroes Trails into Reverie, which is kind of the conclusion of the Cold Steel series, as well as the Crossbell duology. It ties both of those games together, and kind of finishes everything there before moving on to the eastern part of the continent of Zemuria. So I need to get into this because Trails through Daybreak 2 comes out next month, and that would put me then 3 games behind in the series. And I don't want to be that far behind. I want to be caught up. I want to be caught up.
Are the Trails games pretty lengthy, or do they vary in their playtime?
Most of them are pretty lengthy. They the the Trails of Cold Steel series has ones that are at least 100 hours long. Um,
Okay.
the Crossbell duology has some shorter ones. I'm not sure what Daybreak. I think Daybreak somewhere in the 80 hours each.
Mm.
But there is Trails into the Sky coming out this year, hopefully. And that is officially game number 1. So if you are thinking about getting into the Trails games, that might be a good place to start because they're remaking that.
Well, maybe they should make a Trails into our backlog. Ayo.
Ah,
Ha ha. Ha ha. Sorry.
yep,
Nice.
cool. Are we doing one at a time, or are we just shooting off our list?
I didn't think it out that far. Let's go one by one. Let's go one by one.
Okay,
All
cool.
right, I guess since I'm second on the docket here, I guess my first game is going to be Monster Hunter Stories 2: Wings of Ruin. Um, my why is because I feel like such a terrible like Monster Hunter fan for not completing this absolutely fun and compelling RPG that takes place in probably my ultimately well, yeah, like Monster Hunter and Dead Space fight for which one is my favorite universe. Honestly, I feel like it's Monster Hunter that takes the crown, but Dead Space, like I'm always going to be into it. But yeah, but we already know I beat everything Dead Space already, you know. But when it comes to like the Monster Hunter like stories, like RPGs, like the second one I have not finished yet. And I feel bad. Plus, I also feel bad is for the fact that I got a lot of boss rush people to get that game when it first came out. I got a lot to the point where people were asking me questions. I'm like, I haven't hatched that monster yet. I don't know. I don't know where you're at. Yeah, it's my walk of shame.
It's almost a
But I mean,
walk of shame
ultimately,
for me.
like if you haven't played Monster Hunter, if you haven't played Monster Hunter Stories 2, like you should definitely play it, and you should definitely go back and play Monster. Like there's a double pack out there. I think $40 gets you both games. So like yeah, definitely. If you haven't played either one of those games, give it a go. Like you don't have to know much. And the crazy part is you don't have to know much about Monster Hunter to play and enjoy these games. Unlike the Monster Hunter main series, where it's like you need to play a little bit of Monster Hunter to know what's going on.
Yeah, what's
Mhm.
funny is I actually restarted Monster Hunter Stories 2 last year, and I think I got one mission further than when I stopped the last
Oh,
time.
so technically, it's all part of your backlog then.
Yep, so that could very well be one of the RPGs I finish this year. Hopefully.
Well, that's my first entry. Stephanie, what say you?
First one on my list is Until Then. I got a reminder email from Steam that it is on sale at present, and Until Then is a narrative-driven, coming of age story. It's like based in Filipino setting and culture, and also just based on the tone and the theme. It's when I say related to um, Space for the Unbound, not like it's not related story wise, but just like in the theming. So if you like something like A Space for the Unbound, you might like the type of game Until Then is. So I've been eyeing it for a while. It's been on my wish list. I've just haven't pulled the trigger yet. So I want to commit. And the Steam sale email reminder is that is how I'm going to pull the trigger. I'm going to buy it and then start playing it on my Steam Deck.
It's a great game. I recommend it. Beautiful
So
music. Beautiful music in this game.
yeah, I think it'll also be a great palate cleanser. I hate calling a great game a palate cleanser because it's not just for that. I always wanted to play it anyway,
Mm.
but I just got over playing in my opinion, a very long RPG that I have, and I haven't played RPGs in a while, so I kind of need something different. All right, Pat, back at you.
Mm-hmm. All right. So this is a game that every time I look through my PlayStation digital collection, I see it and a tear rolls my eyes that I have not finished it yet.
Oh, no.
And if I play it, I'm probably going to restart again and use a walkthrough so I can collect everything. Um, Kenna, The Bridge of Spirits.
Mm,
It
Good
was
game.
a game that was hailed. It's a team that I believe was like movie animators, and they
Yeah.
decided to make a game.
Yeah.
And
Ember
so you
Lab.
have a
Yeah.
game that you have a game that looks like a Pixar movie. But it has kind of like a Zelda-ish quality of like puzzles and overworld. And then it's got these cute little things called the Rot, but they look like little black marshmallow men.
Pat, I own that game and I haven't played it either. So maybe
Yeah. Same.
if I have that room and if I could have like a bonus fifth game, I'll try and play and beat it this year with you, Pat.
Yay! Then we can book
Yeah, I think
club
I'll also jump on that bandwagon, and then maybe we'll have a book club for it.
it.
Uh, a plan is forming.
Hmm Can a bridge
Uh,
to the book club.
all right, so my second game that I'm volunteering for the backlog challenge is Control Ultimate Edition, and the only reason why it's on this list is because my boy Andre Wilson, friend of the show and sometimes a fellow co-host, he just beat the game on his Steam Deck. So like if he can beat the game on his Steam Deck, there's no reason why I can't beat the game on my high powered like gaming PC. But we already know I'm just gonna play on the ROG Ally, so it doesn't even fucking matter. um, I don't know. Like I used to joke about how like my PlayStation 5 hated my Nintendo Switch because I played the Switch more than I played the PS5, and then the Switch hated my PC because I played more games on the PC than I do on the Switch. Now it seems like my PC is hating my ROG Ally because I play everything on that, even games I have no business playing, like games that are definitely test that hardware's limit. I
Mhm.
just like the fact that I can just sit on the couch or be in the bed or like travel. Yeah, I don't have to worry about taking a gaming laptop with me anymore. So that's $2,000 I don't have to spend anymore.
Nice.
Man,
Did
that's
you like
another.
X Files?
Hmm?
Did you like the TV show X Files?
Hmm?
Okay, then yeah, you'd love Control.
Well, I need to.
It's
Well, the thing is, I need to play and beat Control because that will be what gets me to get into Alan Wake 2.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Yep.
And yeah, I played and beat the original Alan Wake a long time ago, so it's not in my backlog, thank God.
Oh, you nailed another sore spot, and I don't know if I can commit to a sixth backlog this year, but
What
I I
Control?
I do own Control Ultimate Edition, and it's in my place PS5 like backlog, and I love Alan Wake 2 so much. Alan Wake 2 is officially on my top 10 favorite games of all time, just personal. And I know there are just so many references to Control. I'm like, I have to. And you never know if there's going to be a Control 2. So I'm like, all right, I need to do it. I just don't know if it'll be this year, but let me know when you start it.
Okay. Okay. I'm not sure when I'll start it because, like, I mean, Monster Hunter Wilds comes out February 28th, and
Oh, no, that's fine.
freaking
It's just you're reminding me of a very important game that I'd like to play as well.
yeah, and then there's Final Fantasy VII Rebirth coming out on PC on the 23rd. Yeah, like I mean, like this year's already stacked for me. And that's only
Chonky.
2 games.
Those are chonky 2 games.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Okay, so wait, Stephanie, have you gone yet?
It's my turn for my second
Okay,
pick.
okay.
So my second and third pick will have similar reasons. So pick number 2 will be Slay the Spire. Because they announced that they are making a sequel to Slay the Spire. Whenever a sequel gets announced to a game that I have not played, I'm like, shit, I really got to play it. And Slay the Spire, I heard about it when I was listening through Left Behind Game Club. And I feel like it's one of those indie classics that I would like to have on my bucket list to check off. I'm generally not a deck builder type person, but I have finally, played a deck builder or two that I like Inscription. So I want to play it so I can be able to play the sequel when it launches. I don't know when though it's coming out, but it will.
Nice.
You know what? I just gotta say, so far, like all y'all's picks are awesome. they're picks that actually make me like most of these games are in my backlog. Like, what the fuck am I doing with my time? I know what I'm doing with my time. I'm hosting and creating podcasts. That's what I'm doing with my time.
No,
All right.
I'm liking your list. I'm liking all your lists too. But
Yeah, I mean, this is
mhm.
I don't know. Like, I don't. Okay, so here's the reason why sometimes it takes forever for me to play for me to beat games because like for example, I could have had my second run of Dead Space, done. My new game plus run done a long time ago. But I've always got to go off on little side missions. I've always got to like explore every crease and crevice of the map and everything. And that's what takes up a lot of my time. Or, in the case of like certain RPGs and stuff like that, I know for a fact that I'm going to get clapped, on a certain boss. So I'm like, I'm going to spend the time to grind and actually like get my levels up and stuff like that. The problem is though, I grind so much that like the grind becomes fun, and then when I get to the boss, it's like, man, I just beat that boss in like 5 minutes. Like, what was that even a challenge?
Challenge was climbing that mountain to beat the boss in 5 minutes. The workout.
which is which is funny. Why do I abhor like freaking Souls games when I have that method?
That is well, okay. Souls games are a little different just because the levels aren't going to fully help you that much. That one's more based on the skill
Okay,
and
yeah.
muscle memory. But I do kind of have a Souls like on my game, but that's not the one I'm talking next. The next one I want to get off my backlog here is Like a Dragon Ishin.
Hmm.
That's the time period piece where you have all the Like a Dragon characters play as very culturally significant characters back during the Ishikawa shogunate.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So it's now that I've actually played Rise of the Ronin and know who a lot of these characters are, I want to see them again in their Like a Dragon form.
Neat. It's
Also,
cool that
there's a
you
lot
can
of Like a
draw
Dragons I need to catch up. Yeah.
the time period similarities from Rise of the Ronin. That's very cool.
Well, the way I figured it out was Ryoma. Shoot, I forget what the last name is, but the first name's Ryoma. Is who Kiryu plays in Like a Dragon Ishin, and he was your best, or he was like your
Oh,
companion character in Rise of the Ronin, like the one that like carried you around and pushed you through your story missions.
gotcha.
So Now I know that. Now I know the history.
Neat.
Awesome. All right. It's back to me. All right. So pick number 3. Everybody's gonna groan and roll their eyes when I say this. When I say this next name. Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut. It's like one of my great shames, as I am a host for a dedicated PlayStation podcast. It's one of my great shames, like this game is what, 6 years old now, 7 years old. As a matter of fact, it's old enough.
That long?
Well,
I know.
okay, maybe not. Maybe isn't it just as old as Horizon Zero Dawn, which just got a remaster?
Oh my goodness.
Ghost of Tsushima, I think, was 2019. Because I don't remember it being during the. I don't remember it being during the.
Let's find out. I've got the information pulled up right here. Oh well, this is the PC version. Of course the PC version is going to have the PC release date. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, it was 2020. Never mind.
Oh, it's 2020. No, that doesn't sound right.
Yeah, July 17th, 2020.
That was a pre-COVID game.
No, technically,
by pre-COVID, I mean the time period, not any game before COVID is, of course, a pre-COVID game.
Yeah, this was during COVID.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Basically, like I said, it's one of my great shames. As a matter of fact, my co-host on the Crossroads podcast used to give me hell for that and Horizon Zero Dawn, which that's another one that hasn't been beaten, but I'm not putting that on this list.
If I remember Story and I always giving you shit about that.
Yes. I thank you, Pat, for not keeping that trend alive.
That's okay. It's we'll find other games. Ghost is too old to be that way now. I think what's Astrobot? Why the heck haven't you played Astrobot yet? You call yourself a PlayStation gamer?
Well,
you haven't played
it's already
Astrobot?
won its awards, so it didn't need my help to get the awards. Now I'm just waiting for a nice cozy sale.
See now,
and like I said, my PS5 is jealous of all my other gaming apparatuses. Apparati.
But there you go. There's a game I can rag you on right now. Award-winning Astrobot.
Actually, I feel like Astrobot's gonna be a palate cleanser game for me, so I'll probably get it real soon.
Oh, you'd love it.
Well, Ghost of Tsushima, I know. I think it's a great pick because I
watch all the stuff for it. Yeah, I watch all the stuff on it, and I'm just like, man, I need to play this game. Yep. All right, Steph. What's game number 3?
Game number 3. Hold on, I'm drawing a blank. Oh, duh! I believe was the last game that was announced at the Game Awards of 2024. Is that they are working on a sequel to Okami. And I actually never played Okami, so therefore I must play Okami. So this is the year where I re-download Okami that's on my Switch, and I'm going to play it, and I'm going to like it, and then I will be ready for the sequel.
You are going to love this game, Steph. With your love of Zelda, this game's perfect for you.
I don't know why it's taken me this long, but it's a great opportunity, so.
Yeah, it's got great humor, great graphics, lots of cuddly animals that you can befriend.
Yay!
Yeah, Okami is also a game that I loved it but never beat it.
I just feel like it's a classic that I need to play anyway.
I feel like we're all just calling out. Did we just look at each other's like gaming backlogs and just like, you know what, we're gonna snarkily call each other out on shit?
Yeah.
Yep. It's okay, guys. You'll be educated. You will be educated in these great and awesome games within the backlog.
I mean, Okami just has beautiful music and beautiful art design.
It's no, Like, seriously, I don't know why it took so long to create. I know they keep saying
Yeah.
it's a sequel. Technically, Okami had a sequel, and but it was a 3DS game, so not many people know of it. Okamiden.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
But I think the reason why it's calling it a sequel is that Okamiden was a different wolf, where
Oh.
Okami is Adamaratsu or
Yeah.
Amatsura.
You got it right. You got it right.
Yeah,
Amaterasu.
yeah, Mataratsu. So I think that's why they're calling it a sequel is that you are playing Amaterasu again in
So
this
direct
upcoming game.
sequel. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Uh, my game number 4 is Black Myth Wukong.
Mm.
I played this game up until we went to PAX West, and then when I got home, Astrobot came out.
Mm.
So I never went back to Black Myth Wukong, and I would love to get back into this game because it was a very gorgeous game. I like the kind of the deep Chinese fantasy of the Journey to the West, and also it was I haven't beat a Souls game in a while, so
Mm.
playing a game like Black Myth Wukong would make me at least feel like I have some skill again when it comes to combat. I just don't know when I'm
Nice.
going to get back to it, but I
Mm.
should.
Do you feel like you could pick up where you left off, or do you feel like you have to start over again?
Oh, no, I'd pick up where I left off. I'm not doing that shit again. Or, I'm not doing that from like level 1.
Okay, gotcha.
Uh, yeah, there were some bosses I don't want to go back and fight again. So,
Got it.
namely the Mad Tiger. Ooh, that tiger boss was something else.
All right, LeRon,
I'm
what's
sorry.
your
I'm
notes?
sorry. I was trying to stifle a yawn and just did not do the best job.
Talk about the best time.
All right, all right. So my fourth entry on this list is another RPG, Tales of Arise. Like
Mm.
I actually have the complete edition of Tales of Arise. Well, by the complete edition, like I already had the original, like the original release game, the base game, and then when the expansion came out and the sale dropped, I bought that. So like I've got the full game now. So and I played Pat, you're gonna be mad at me. I played 40 hours of Tales of Arise, and I don't know, like something must have distracted me from it. Like I started playing another game and just never got back to it. So unfortunately, I will have to start over from square one.
Mm,
Yeah. So I feel like two RPGs and two action games. I think I got that covered. I think like I can add that to like my list of games to play for the year, and I think I'll be fine. I think so.
all right. Like I said, it's one game every 3 months.
Hmm.
Yep.
You can do it, Luron.
I have faith in myself too. All right, Stephanie.
I don't have a lot of faith in myself because I was juggling between
If you guys
three.
didn't realize I was being sarcastic about myself, like we're on the wrong podcast.
Well, I'm serious about myself because at first I was thinking, oh, should it be Visions of Mana or should it be the new Dragon Age, the Veilguard game? But I'm like, both are too long for me to commit to. I'm nervous, so I'm just gonna say I want to finish Gory Cuddly Carnage because that is a reasonable thing I can complete, and I love the game. It's just, let's see what happened when I started playing it. It was holidays, but also Dragon Quest 3, which I'll talk
Hmm.
about with games that I played. Like, I just had to finish it, and I was like foaming at the mouth. Like, I'm like, this needs to be. It needs like 100% of my attention. Whereas like Gory, you could play in like bits and pieces and not feel like you don't know what you're doing. Whereas in Dragon Quest, I realized when I put the game down for a few days, I'm like, what the fuck, where, what, when. So Gory, I'm coming for you, you little orange kitty.
All
There
right.
we go.
All right. So, like I said, much respect to y'all's list. As a matter of fact, I want to say Cannon Bridge of Spirits and Black Myth Wukong, as well as Okami are probably honorable mentions on my list. If for some strange reason I power through the 4 I already have, like I will probably pick those up off of y'all's list.
Mm-hmm. Well, you got a ways away before Kami 2 comes out, so
Yeah,
if you
yeah,
don't get it this year, there's at least a year or two after.
right, right. But I already feel like that monster that's called Monster Hunter is going to take up a lot of my time because
Mhm.
Stephanie, you played Monster Hunter with me. You kind of know how I am with it.
Mhm. And I can understand. It's just something that you get sucked into, and it's,
Yeah,
it's a way of life.
yeah, yeah. I love it. I love it. And like I said, like it's well, I don't think neither one you heard the story, but basically Monster Hunter when Monster Hunter was in development, it was touted as an action RPG, and it was at a point when I was really really super exhausted playing role playing games. But there was something so fascinating about it was back when GMR, which used to be Game Informer, well, Game Informer used to be GMR, but basically that magazine they had like Capcom gave them like a 12 page like spread for it and stuff like that. And so I was looking at all the pre-production stuff. I was like, man, like the monsters look cool and stuff like that. This honestly looks like a game that I would actually like to play, but it's an action RPG. So I told myself this is the last RPG I will ever play. If it comes out and I don't like it, I am done. I am done. It came out. It definitely lost a lot of its RPG elements, which was okay with me. But here I am, 20 years later. Because it's the 20th anniversary for Monster Hunter this year.
Yes, that's
Mm-hmm.
awesome.
20
Can't
years
wait to
later,
see
still playing the games.
what wonderful things that Capcom will be doing for the anniversary. I saw some
Oh yeah,
adorable, I think it's pins or keychains or something that's on pre-order for PlayAsia, but I'm sure there'll be more.
yeah, yep.
It's the
All right,
40th anniversary for Mario.
what is it? 30?
Completely.
Is it 35th? No,
40th.
something else in Nintendo is 35. Is it
Oh, it's
Zelda that's
Super Mario's
35?
40 this year. Super Mario's gonna be 40 this year, so
Oh,
I
then
hope
then
that
it's not Zelda. It's not Zelda's 35. It's not
Zelda
Metroid either.
35 would be, or no, Zelda would be 40 next year then.
Yeah,
Oh,
as well as Metroid. Metroid be 40 next year also. God, we're old.
yeah.
Uh,
Oh, let's stop
we're
Zelda has,
talking
or
about it.
Steph
well,
has a
there's
feel that your favorite series is older than you.
well,
Not by
that's
much.
everything. That's our tales from the backlog. We're gonna definitely try and we're definitely gonna try and like put a dent in this damn thing. I don't know, Stephanie, Pat. I have faith in you guys. Well, you know what? I don't even know why I said I have faith in Pat. Pat always crushes his game list. So like I don't even know why I even said that. It's more like I'm giving you like good juju. Stephanie, I have faith in you. Actually, you picked some games that, in my opinion, like won't take too long to knock out. I definitely was very very overzealous with the Tales of Arise. Like, if I'm not mistaken, that's a 70-hour RPG.
It's a
Oh
longer
man.
one.
Yeah, Monster Hunter Stories is about 35-hour RPG. Even though like the grind will bump you up to like 80 hours if you're not careful. Because if you're like me, I'm trying to catch every monster.
Gotta catch 'em all. Monster
Yep.
Hunter.
Yep. Yeah. So, all right. So, hit us up in our chat. Hit us up in our chats, or give us some comments and stuff like that. Like, what are some games that are in your backlog that you would like to try and have done like in a quick timely manner? Like you don't have to like hold yourself to our standards where like we're picking 4 games to beat in a year. Like we forgive you if you're only brave enough to do 1 game in a year. We forgive you.
If you guys can hold me, at least getting 10 RPGs.
All right, we're gonna shift gears and go to our. I picked 2 of them, so we're gonna call this banters of the week this week. Uh, So as you guys know, all you have to do is run to bossrush.net, head over to our Boss Rush banner section, and you have a whole bunch of op-eds and editorials that you can read that talk about everything from pop culture to video games and all that stuff. We've got two of them this week. The first one is something that we touched upon in our pre-show for the Boss Rush podcast, which, by the way, head over to patreon.com, get that $1 tier, and you can check out all of our pre-shows when they are released. So Stephanie wrote this banter, and yeah, like we just talked about how tired we are of it, but we're going to talk about it one more time. Are the Nintendo Switch 2 leaks a marketing ploy? So basically, recently photos and specs of Nintendo Switch 2 are leaking at a regular pace, at a regular rate these days. Is Nintendo the one that's actually doing this? It's a good question, because like I thought about that a few times last year. The one during the summer, remember when Nintendo was like, there's no news of the Switch 2, and all of a sudden there was like a leak. And then right after the whole thing, it was one of the Nintendo Directs, and they're like, there will not be any news about the Switch 2, and then literally the next day after the Direct was over, there was a new leak.
I know. I find myself very conflicted with it, because on one hand, Nintendo is very, I don't know, very protective and they like to hold their cards close to their chest. They don't like giving us a regular drip feed of information. But at the same time, because they're control freaks, you would think that nothing would slip past them without their permission. And like some of the stuff's like not even leaks, but like D brand. That's one of the bigger ones. You can literally go to the D brand site and you can click on this for the Switch 2, and they have the case for it. And it's like slightly opaque, so you can kinda see the Switch 2.
And then D-Brand smugly said the Switch will fit inside this.
So I don't know.
I don't know, man. I feel like Nintendo, as much as they like to levy lawsuits and stuff like that, like where's the lawsuit on that one?
That's the thing. So I'm like, maybe I don't know, maybe there's like a very tight contract and D brand found like that little bit where they could get away with it. I don't know. You would think that otherwise Nintendo would have them take it down. Like it would have been
Yeah,
down
yeah,
by now, I
yeah,
feel. So
yeah, and it's still out there on the internet for everybody to see.
So I'm not sure. I feel like ultimately I'm leaning against the fact that Nintendo is intentionally controlling leaks, but at the same time, they must have contracts with vendors outlined to a certain point where a level of an image can be released. That's my best guess.
Well, I'm kind of in the same boat as you, Steph, that Nintendo wouldn't deliberately allow the leaks to happen. I do feel, though, that Nintendo is, there is some, like, I don't want to say string pulling, but I want to say they're using it to their advantage. I feel that Nintendo purposely makes it known, saying, we have no information on the Switch, but we will reveal it in our 2024 fiscal year, which, still has a couple months left. And that's all they needed to do to kind of get the push to have these little micro leaks produce the hype and the promotional, like promoting the Switch like crazy right now. And Nintendo doesn't even have to do a damn thing. Like it's free marketing to them. And they're definitely pulling that, so that like it is building that hype factor. And Nintendo Switch 2 is probably going to sell like hotcakes because of the fact that they're, building it up right now. Or that these like rumors are like building it up right now.
A very good point.
Yeah, yeah. You guys said everything I wanted to say on this, so I'm not gonna beat the dead horse. I do feel like it I honestly the really good companies know that sometimes like the marketing that your customer base does is the best marketing out there and stuff like that. So I feel like like if Nintendo isn't pulling the strings behind all this stuff, they're doing a wonderful job of reaping the rewards, because like it's generating all the hype, which is good. Generating all the hype and stuff like that. Nintendo did come out and say something that I thought was very, very fascinating. I hope they are able to live up to this. They said there will not be a hardware shortage on launch.
I've heard
And
rumors that they've
honestly,
already had several million of these units possibly produced already.
yeah, yeah. And honestly, I think I can believe that, for the simple fact is the PlayStation 5 Slim, the regular edition. It's been very easy to find. Like, people have actually been able to walk into stores the day they say they're going to get one and get one. you know,
Okay.
yeah, and so and scalpers are having a hard time reselling the classic the 20th anniversary edition PlayStation 5. I'm not sure if that's because there's lack of interest in it or whatnot, or the fact that like people are catching on to this whole scalping thing. So like scalpers are losing money on the anniversary console.
Good.
So I think this might be an indicator that Nintendo is probably going to have a successful launch.
Hmm. Again, with the Mario 40th anniversary, I feel we're getting a Mario title sometime this year.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah. Yep. All right. So we have one more banter that I think is gonna be a fun topic for us to talk about. Basically, our buddy Eli Salata from the Boss Rush Network. Why am I getting tongue twisted now? this this aggravates me sometimes.
We've been
it,
talking for a while, and you're doing host duties, so
that's got to be it. I feel like at this point though, like I'm such a pro at this. So why am I getting tongue twisted? Why am I stuttering? Where are these speech impediments coming from? Eli's Banter asks, "What happened to educational video games? Have educational video games gone the way of dinosaurs, leaving room for mobile apps to take center stage in the early childhood learning world, or has something else happened to the educational video game genre?" I don't know. Didn't they just re-release like the Oregon Trail, like to like current standards?
I'd have to play that one. I've been eyeing it. I'm like, is that worth playing? But
And I mean, Carmen San Diego games is still coming out, and is there like a TV
Yep.
series coming out? But we're talking
I
about
don't
games.
know. But I don't know. Maybe it's because not a lot of us are kind of in it. My I finally am learning about kind of the stuff that my son plays at our edutainment, like through the portal of their Chromebooks. He
Mhm.
showed me there's something called Nitro. It's like Mavis Beacon, but much less cool. So what you do is you
Oh,
practice typing, and
uh,
the faster you type, the faster your race car goes. So it's a car racing game. So practice your typing efficiency. So like I
okay.
guess kinda they're out there, but were you guys familiar in our age range Treasure Mountain?
I don't
Treasure
remember
Mountain
that one.
was a educational computer game. I'm not gonna go into it. So like I don't maybe I just don't we don't see a lot of it because we're not directly involved with playing with these edutainment games. I feel like they're still there. Maybe they're not as cool as the ones we grew up with, but I don't know.
Strange, like I typed in like educational video games, and it's almost like they more took a different direction. Like, rather than teaching us our numbers and ABCs, they're teaching us how to build things. Like Minecraft, for example, or the
I
Little Big
see.
Planet series. Like, they're teaching,
Interesting.
yeah, they're teaching more engineering skills than they are,
Yeah,
language and stuff like that.
yeah, like Brain Age and Big Brain Academy are considered edutainment.
Yep.
That's a good point. Yeah, because the Treasure Mountain reference I had, like that's a game where you practice math and your vocabulary skills.
Oh
It's
boy, I just went down this list, and there's an edutainment game that came out in 2001 called Catch the Sperm. And yeah,
what?
I just read the synopsis, and guess what? It is exactly what you think it is.
You need to read it to us now.
Catch the Sperm is a 2011 educational game developed and published by Phenomedia. It was recognized as an entertaining way for health professionals to promote prevention of HIV. Catch the Sperm.
Did you know Animal Crossing's an educational game?
It is. I guess it's teaching you to pay your bills. I guess.
Heck yeah. Teaching you how to work and
Yo, why is
build
Mega Man 7
relationships and
considered
perform
edutainment?
tasks. Teaches you how to plan out your robot masters correctly or else get your ass kicked.
I was gonna say strategizing, maybe. Yeah, it's
Because
definitely
if you
more
can beat it,
abstract learning.
then you're smart.
I have no idea. Let me see. On this list, of course, I played the Oregon Trail. I loved Brain Age, and like when Big Brain Academy came out on the when the latest Big Brain Academy came out on the Switch, man, I was all over that.
I don't know, but I think
Uh,
that there's also garbage games too, because my son also pulled up a couple other games through his school portal, whatever, and like one of them, you're just trying to like race along a ridge with no railing. So obviously, if you don't turn with precision, you fall off. And I'm like, how is this educational? But I just let him play it because I'm like, well, at least it's not appropriate. I don't know. I just like what, my version of entertainment games. Like, what's 6 plus 3? Is
yeah,
it
yeah. Games
9,
actually make you have to use your
4?
analytical skills.
I don't know. It's
Remember when
different.
Carmen Sandiego came with an actual dictionary?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was like a pocket-sized dictionary so that you could look up the shit that they were telling you to, try and figure out.
yeah. Carmen
That
Sandiego.
that was
That's
cool.
a classic.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I strangely am looking forward to this new Carmen Sandiego game that's coming out soon. Just
Yeah,
even though you're playing as Carmen Sandiego, it's still got some of those vibes that you're piecing together clues to figure out who's doing it and where they're going. So I don't know. It could be good. It could just really be bad. But
Yeah.
I want more Carmen Sandiego.
Maybe I will check out the latest like Switch version of Oregon Trail and subject my son through it to see if he dies, if well not he, his character dies of dysentery.
dysentery.
Mm.
So,
You don't want to diss Terry, man. He get your
mm-mm.
ass.
All right. All right. As always, you can head over to bossrush.net and check out any of all of our banners, not just the ones we talked about here tonight. There is a ton of them going back to the launch of the website. So yeah, definitely go back, check it out. There's some controversial ones. There's some ones that are going to make you laugh. A few of them will make you cry even. So yeah, just be out. Just check us out. You know, we love like your patronage over at our website.
Mhm.
Okay, well, before we get out of here, we're going to talk about what we've been playing these past couple of weeks. I'm going to be stingy and go first since I'm first on the docket here. All right, so yes, I'm back into playing Final Fantasy VII Remake in preparation for the PC release of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which comes out on the 23rd. By the way, congrats to the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth team for some of y'all's wins. Across the award circuit and stuff like that. You know, good job on that. Yes. Your voice actress did get robbed.
She did, but she's a good spirit about it.
Yeah, yeah. I am always going to be playing Monster Hunter World Iceborne until Monster Hunter Wilds comes out, which we're 52 days away from as of this recording. Basically, I'm in my final run. I'm just having a blast, just playing through a lot of the story elements of Iceborne and stuff like that. Of course, everything goes up to and including Fatalis, which was the final DLC drop for Monster Hunter World Iceborne and stuff like that. And I'm dragging Andre along with me. He's been having a fun and a hard time with some of this stuff. I'll tell you that right now. Fun. Actually, no, I'm not going to share that story because like it's we're saving it for another podcast at a later time. And I'm still playing Tekken 8. As a matter of fact, I am currently getting clapped while trying to learn how to play Clive because like I think he's cool. Plus, I'm actually playing something that Ben Stars actively, had a role in stuff like that. By the way, like if you follow me on Blue Sky, yeah, I may or may not have like sunk like an hour and 40 minutes into watching a whole bunch of Ben Star stuff on YouTube. I'm not ashamed. That's a pretty man.
Yeah, he's a character.
Oh yeah, yeah. You know, I'm gonna say this. And y'all are gonna be like, LeRon is so horny. Like that guy curses, and it's just like, ooh, say it again.
Right?
He says the F word, and I'm like, whoa. Like I felt something move. I'm done. Someone go next.
Go ahead,
Um,
Stephanie. I want to hear this.
so first is I've picked up Mother 3 again. I'm surprised I was able to figure out where I was because I refused to start the game over again because I knew I was getting towards the end. And I forgot how fucking weird that game is, but I say it in the most loving way. I fucking love this game. I get it why it's not didn't never officially came to the West. I just don't think many Westerners would kind of understand a lot of the humor and the references. But damn, it's so weird. I love it. So I'm on the second to last chapter, so I'm definitely gonna finish it. Another game, and I completed it, was Dragon Quest III 2D HD remake.
Whoa! You beat a Dragon Quest game I never beat.
I know, I don't think
Congrats.
I could
Congrats.
say that very often, so, like, dang, I'm gonna hold on to that. So long story short, I love the game. It takes me back into the good old RPG games that I loved when I was young, and the sense of exploration and figuring out your teammates, what class they are. I loved Pat's character. He was the monster tamer or something like that. I was
Yep.
able to kind of collect monsters without having to use any items because of your job, which is funny
Mhm.
because I'm like, oh my, and you could battle with them on like as a side thing. I'm like, dude, this was Pokemon before Pokemon happened. Okay, that was Pokemon. You you collected sort of, not really, monsters, and then you pick 3 on your team and they fight other monsters. Um,
You just described Dragon Quest monsters.
all right. Well, there you go. Um, yeah, so it was, and it's beautiful. Beautiful graphics,
Mm.
beautiful music, and even though the story was on the lighter side, it was a good story because you're looking for your father while trying to. Okay, so this is the part where I should have known better with traditional RPGs. The point of the game is that you need to find this archfiend and defeat the archfiend because the archfiend is the source of all the monsters and they're destroying the realm. Oh my gosh, Archfiend Baramos. So I'm going, I'm going. I get all the orbs and I get the bird because I got the orbs, and the bird flies me to the island where Lord Archfiend Baramos is. And I beat that motherfucker, and I was so happy. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, the game's gonna it's running credits." And then during the celebration, this being shows up, covered in shadow. Ah ha ha! I am the Oblivion, the of the underworld. And so apparently, there's another bad guy. I'm blanking on this name, Pat. All of a sudden,
Zoma.
uh, was it?
Zoma.
Z Zoma, yeah. So now we have this Lord of the Underworld Zoma. So you need to transport to a completely new world. Granted, it's a smaller world than the one I've spent my 40 hours in, but I went from defeating what was the initial mission to transport to a whole new world with a whole new villain, and I had to go to like 4 more towns. I wasn't happy because I thought I was at the end. If it did not, if there was a
Mhm.
hint that there was another puppet master, or if there was a hint that I wouldn't. It's that expectation that when you think that the game's going to be over and you've met the final objective, and they're like, "Just kidding," pulls the rug from underneath you. You have to have. I just wasn't happy because I thought I was going to beat this game at the end of 2024, and I had to put in
Mm.
a couple more hours into it, and it was just a pain in the butt.
I can't lie, a lot of Dragon Quest games do that.
Well, that's the thing. Don't like a lot of.
They will send you after one villain, and then you find out that the real boss is someone completely different, and you
Yeah.
have another journey.
So, but isn't that also kind of, and this isn't always the case, but don't a lot of traditional RPGs and JRPGs do that too? Like there's a secret puppet master somewhere, or there's a secret other mission somewhere.
I mean, it's sometimes like there's games that come out where like the final ar- villain is someone that just doesn't, they don't mention until almost the very end of the game. And I honestly I don't like those type of villains, but I more prefer the arch nemesis that you see throughout, and you kind of know more about that person than the mysterious villain that pops out at the end of the game.
Yeah, so I wasn't happy about that. I just don't think it's good storytelling. And the fact that I had a whole other world, like the original world that I'm in, I scoured that head to toe. I sailed on that damn boat. I wanted to pick up every single frickin' sparkly treasure, even if I did not need anything. Like I was at a level 40 and I was picking up level 2 shit. I didn't care. I wanted to clean out that map. By the time I got to this new world at the end of the game, I'm like trying to just speed through to get to the end, which is unfortunate. It was a good game. It still is a good game. I was I wasn't very pleased. So,
So how many hours would you say it took?
this is the one thing I don't like about the Switch. They don't give me the exact time. It says 40 hours or more.
Okay.
Ooh,
Does that mean it's between
I
40 and
never paid
50?
attention to that. Hmm.
It means it's between 40 and 45.
Oh, okay. So, I mean,
Because once you hit 45, then it's 45 hours or more.
I see. So, I mean, I don't know, Pat. Like, I guess in the grand scheme of things for RPGs, it's not a terrible amount of time. But again, I just,
That was a long RPG back in its day, though. I mean, that was an NES game still.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
yeah. So, it's pretty beefy.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah, I remember. I remember it took me forever to whichever the first Dragon Warrior game like that was actually on the US NES. I remember it taking me forever to beat that game,
mm.
Hmm.
and that was back when RPGs were exciting.
So,
Uh,
yeah, that was my very first ever Dragon Quest that I played and beaten. I am looking forward to the 1 and 2 remake. I'm not sure if I'm gonna play it this year just because I'm already dedicating myself to backlog games, and if they're as long as this one, it might take me some time.
mm, no, I think 1 and 2 which will probably be about the same length as 3. 1 and 2.
Wait. Well, anyway, so those are the 2 that I am playing, so next time we talk, I'll hopefully have beaten Mother 3 and hopped on, another mystery game, who knows? Alright,
Nice.
Pat.
Uh, I
Take it
have a
away.
game here. I don't know if I want to talk about it because I feel like Corey would want to hear about it,
At least
and
tell
that
us the
would be
title.
Star Wars Outlaw.
Okay.
Yeah, just because I know Corey was looking forward to it, and I would like to have that discussion. So maybe I'll hold off on that week or for next week on that one. However, it's been a good couple of months for the Ease series, the YS. And I beat my very first game this year, Ease 10 Nordics, which was a RPG, the latest in the Ease series. And I will say this is probably also one of my least favorite of the Ease series. Unfortunately, it was not good in my opinion. And that sucks because I actually really like this series, but it just did not. They took a lot of different changes. They made the battle system a lot easier. These battle systems have always been kind of easy, which I'll talk about in my next game. But Ease 10 decides to do more of a simplistic. If they have an armor meter, you want to use a break stat to damage them, and then once they have their normal meter, you use a strength stat item to or weapon to kind of break them. So or to beat them. So it's just break off the shield and you know slash away. And it focuses more on two characters rather than a party. And I kind of like the older system because the older system used a paper rock scissors method with weaknesses and vulnerabilities. So it feels like they kind of got rid of a lot of strategy with that with the new system. Um, the actual environments all felt very similar to each other. This game takes place in kind of a they call it the Gulf of I forget what it's called. Um, it began with an O, but it's a giant sea area with a lot of islands dotted around, but every island felt the same. Like there wasn't much difference in environments, which is kind of sad because that's one of the things Ease is known for is your character Adol, he is an adventurer. His job is to explore these lands and he chronicles that shit in notebooks and completing maps and travel logs of all the people and things that he meets and the adventure part of this did not feel as fun in my opinion. Um It did have some good moments in the story, but also the story itself did not feel as like a lot of these things kind of end up with something that could almost like end the world, and I did not really see that much as an issue in Ease in Nordics. It just seemed more personal than like apocalyptic in nature, I guess. And Adel was just somehow roped into it. So unfortunately, it's not one that I really recommend. However, today we just got the release of E's memoir, The Oath of Felgana, which is game number 3 in the series. And this one brings back a more old school E's, which was a fast, just single button mashing combat system where you also switch to different spell types like a fire. I only have fire right now, but I'm sure there's 2 other elements that you get. And they 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 improved the story part of it for sure because there's a lot of text dialogue with the characters that you meet. Um, the music has been completely remixed, and it's a fun soundtrack. It's got some electric guitars going on, and it's fun to be bad guys with this kind of music, I guess. Or not, I guess. It's good. In my opinion, it's definitely doing a lot better than Nordics was. Um, but I really enjoy this series. Like, I hope for the best that, Nordics was just kind of a fluke because the 2 games before Nordics were both fantastic. In fact, I thought Ease 8 it was one of my favorite RPGs. The story of the Lacrimosa of Dana was just an absolutely beautiful story. The area that you were on, like that was very like the biomes felt a lot different than everything just looking like rocks and pine trees of Nordic. So like Ease has done good stuff in this series. I don't know why this one just kind of felt flat.
Mm.
Um, But let me tell you about the E series, guys. This game series is actually based on a fictional Europe. In fact, Ease is an actual it is an actual legend in the region that it's in. There was a town called Ease that supposedly sank into the sea. And there are different legends of how this town sank. And this town is kind of in the northwestern, the northwestern like peninsula of France. Kind of, there's like a little like thing that sticks out, and like there'd be like a little island there, and that's kind of where Ease originally started. And then, so it's actually based kind of off of a realistic folklore. And what's cool is that Adol, your main character for the series, he's traveling all over Europe. Like several of his games are in different places in Europe. There were 2 games that took place in Africa and 1 game that took place in the Caribbeans. But it's cool to kind of see like the parallels that are in his world versus what is our world, and seeing these various like cities that were inspired by real cities. Ease 9 it takes place actually in Paris, but the town, I believe the town was called Baroque, and it was called the prison town, and that was famous because of the Bastille in Paris and the giant prison that they had over there. So there's a lot of themes about prisoners and, things that dealt with that giant prison in that game. Um, but I think it's like really cool. Like this is a very long living series that had its start in actual like history, and that they keep using this like little like parallel world that we're familiar with. Like if you ever look at the Ease world map, it's Europe. That's what it is. It's Europe. Like the games in Africa, one takes place in basically Alexandria, and the other one takes place in
Holy shit! Why did I not make that
Carthage.
connection? I
Hmm.
just looked at the map. I never made that connection.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah, no, it's the game. A lot of it takes place between France and
Yeah,
France and Spain, and
yeah, because
the Oath
that
of
region I'm
Felgana
looking at
takes
is
place in.
basically the Seine River.
Hmm. Yeah,
Wow.
Oath of Felgana is the one that takes place in Germany, so it's just kind of cool seeing like, oh, this is our world, but with monsters.
Nice.
Damn.
Mhm.
Thank you for that
Yep.
trivia.
Nope. I said in my Twitter post today that I was gonna educate you guys in the Ease culture since it's been picking up here. Falcom says that they are excited to bring more Trails games and Ease games, here. I like to remake them so that other people get the experience. And there's still one Ease game that never made it to America, and that's Ease 5. Now, if you did
Hmm.
have questions about which one to start with, what's funny is that even though the games have a like are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, it's not necessarily chronological in that order. 1 and 2 is technically 1 and 2, but then game 3 takes place 3 years later. So in chronological events, games 10 actually takes place right after game 2, and then it jumps into game 4 right after that. And 3 is like a little further down in the line. Game 9 is technically the most furthest out there in the timeline. But, then I think game 8 was one of the earlier adventures. So they're jumping all over the place in terms of like chronological order, but
You should make a
you know,
lore book if they don't already.
it's that's a cool thing about Ease is that like they make mentions of like things, even like Nordics like makes mention of Salsetta, which is the region for number 4, but it hasn't taken place yet. So like the little nods to other regions and games. Um, and then there's also like there's some good humor too. Like I remember number 9, the prison guard was talking about how it seems like Adol was always on different adventures, but and he always seems to find some like really powerful weapon, and they ask the question, whatever happens to these weapons? And like the answer is like, you lose them all the time. So it's like, here you have a sword that's designed to save the world. He just loses it before his next adventure.
Oh gosh.
Gets another one. Yeah, it's fun. Like it's a good series. It's just sad that Nordics did not live up, in my opinion, to expectations. But it's still a series I highly recommend.
Awesome. Any last minute things we're gonna add?
I beat 50 games last year.
Good shit.
Yeah, that was my highest numbers.
So here's to fruitful and enjoyable 2025 in gaming.
Oh yeah, definitely. I didn't do any resolutions, so I guess the 4 games from my backlog is the closest thing you're going to get to a gaming resolution for me this year.
Yeah.
We'll take
All
it.
right. Well, as always, this basically wraps up our show. So I want to thank everyone for watching and/or listening to this episode of the Boss Rush podcast. Remember, this is episode 257, and also remember that this is the flagship podcast for the Boss Rush Network. You can catch all new episodes. Actually, aren't we moving nights? Aren't we moving to Thursdays or
Thursdays? I think we're Thursdays now.
Yeah.
We used to be Mondays, and now I think we're Thursdays.
The doc says Monday, so I'll have to yell at Corey for that one. But you can catch all new episodes on whatever night we are official on your podcast service of choice or on YouTube. Remember, you can get this show ad-free along with any other perks like the exclusive pre-show content for as little as $1 over on Patreon. So it's patreon.com/BossRushNetwork. Check out our merch as well, and you'll find all of our content over at bossrush.net, the website. Pat, Stephanie, thank you guys. Happy New Year. Wonderful seeing you guys.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, like this is our first time laying eyes on each other this year. So yeah.
You guys are a sexy bunch to lay eyes on.
Oh.
What's that?
You guys are a sexy bunch to lay eyes on.
Oh, stop it. You're making me blush. Stop it.
Love you guys.
With all this salt and pepper I have on my face. All right. We want to just go ahead and wish all of you guys a wonderful new year. Thank you for watching and or listening. And until next time, we love you. Have fun, play games, and be better. Take care.
Bye.
If you want to see how you can become a Patreon producer, head on over to patreon.com/BossRushNetwork. The Patreon producers for this month are Adriel Munger, Austin Campbell, Celeste Roberts, Christian S., Sana Deering, Francisco Santillan, Matthew Keel, and Todd Oxtra. Thanks for your continued support of the Boss Rush Network.